Everyone okay?
As if people weren't hungry enough.
I don't see what's the problem.
If you can't see it, I doubt I can explain it to you. They just make me feel uncomfortable.
I'm glad to see revenants working in our fields. I see nothing wrong with it.
What if the body used to be your brother? Your grandfather? You, Adiran, you know what a revenant is, don't you? Your dead friends and family walking around rotting all over your cabbages?
Well, they're more efficient than we are. They don't need to sleep or eat, and it leaves us free to do other things.
Oh, well, fire is much more efficient at harvesting the fields. But we wouldn't want to eat whatever it leaves behind. Every monster we let wander the valley is one more threat to our children, not to mention to our crops.
Nothing. That is my point.
Oh, then you will not mind when the animancers put one in your home. Perhaps you can get one of the animancers to raise up your late wife so she can keep cooking your dinner.
Thank you, friend. With luck, that will buy me a few moments of quiet.
You're the first godlike to come through in... well, I can't remember how long. I hope that's a good sign. I'll take what I can get. If the gods don't bless us with a harvest soon, this market will be empty come winter. Really? You know the gods don't exactly favor animancy. Some say the old gods aren't here, or maybe they just don't care for the living lands. If you need an animancer, you'll have to clear it with the governor. He lives in the big manor on the far side of town. Let me know if anything strikes your fancy. We don't have much, but the harvest hasn't bled us dry yet.
What do you mean that's all you've got? Last week you said that'd be great.
You know what I said, but we only have so much to go around.
Are the animals starving as well?
Godlike.
Hand in hand, they toil, and the earth gives in return the smile of the harvest.
what do I tell Sovia? What do I tell the children? It's not bad enough that their mother a little earlier and you'd have beaten the other bandits to my crops. But I guess that's on you, isn't it? Ah, finally! Someone who cares about something other than themselves. When they ran away, I saw them following the river north. They're probably hiding up there, waiting to steal from someone else. You come back with my crops, and I'll give you whatever I can. You can't put a price on survival. Next one's mine! Glad that's over.
I'm not making it up. What about you? You're the envoy. Of all people, you should know. I was out hunting for springberries yesterday evening when I saw a group of soldiers in the woods. I didn't linger long. I didn't want them to notice me, but they were adhering. I'm sure of it. I'm not sure. They looked like they were arguing. Maybe they were lost. I also saw the most unusual woman. She was alone, but I couldn't see her face behind the cowl and mask. Well, I'm sorry. I'm an herbalist, not a ranger. I know what I saw.
Let's give it a rest.
Word of advice, give a wide berth to the governor's manor. Giatta's about to tear that poor man a new one. Well, I hope you have a stomach for profanity.
Huh. A woman shouting profanity at leadership? Reminds me of home.
She came storming up the hill with a wheelbarrow full of spoiled crops. Then the shouting started.
Animancers fighting? This I have to see.
This isn't the first time Giatta's put the governor in his place, but it might be the last. Look around. The town's overgrown, the crops are dying. What's not to fight about?
Just take a blessed day look outside. Doesn't take a genius to see this place is rolling downhill.
The governor's manor is on the far side of town. You can't miss it. Just follow the sound of foul language.
I was hoping to learn some local curses.
Looking forward to seeing what it looks like when animancers fight.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. You're a welcome sight. Thank you again for your help with the militia in Paradis. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy. Good. Perhaps he will listen to you. I am not fashioned for statecraft. Still, I think the governor is too stubborn to be persuaded even by the Emperor's finest. When diplomacy fails, the Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adirian interests. Barter for peace, prepare for war. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace?
the trend. Be careful with old Nun. Ah, those Delamgan. They are not evil, it is just... nature to push back against the expansion of civilization. Still, survival of the fittest and all that, ne? And all godlike. I've heard whispers that one of your kind was here in the living lands. It is a pleasure to meet you. In case it wasn't clear, I'm the point of contact for anyone with bounties to turn in. So return to me if you have any to claim. Officially, I'm one of the many researchers here. My specialty is in the anatomy of the many species of Eora. If you must know, Vulpinet, these bounties are more pressing than my research. Someone had to be chosen to man the board. That person happened to be me. At least some of these bounties result in interesting specimens to study. Aurat Augori. I hope to see you soon.
Can I interest you in some glaive berries or better spells, perhaps? Welcome to Poria in Velino, the finest legitimate apothecary of Emerald Stair. All ingredients are fully stocked.
heard? Giatta's causing trouble at the governor's mansion again.
You must admit she has a point. We should do something about the Dream Scourge. Not simply wait for it to pass.
Be careful with that kind of talk. The governor... has ears all over town.
Spirits are truly wonderful, powerful, self-aware, and reach with... the insight.
Insight, you say?
Indeed. The spirits have access to lifetimes of knowledge.
Would you care for the refreshment? Good right about now. The pity I must wait until I'm dead.
Come on. My invention is guaranteed to enlarge your essence. A moment of your time, my friend. Tell me, what do you know about your soul? Wrong.
Your soul is an ancient, wondrous thing, suffused with lifetimes of rich, delicious memory. But it's tired, my friend, heavy with the burden of generations and too weak to survive another turning of the wheel. That's the beauty of it, the first treatments on the house. The moment you entered the city, I calibrated my invention to the highest setting and attuned it to your soul. So tell me, how do you feel? Better already, huh?
Another skeptic? Oh well. I can see my talents are wasted here. No charge for the treatment. Best of luck with your soul.
You have a thing for sticking your head in the bear's mouth, don't you?
Giatta, what's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it.
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now. How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? In that case, you're right on time.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Seems more likely you'll have to punch some sense into him.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Very well. I hope you remember that behind these walls, your influence has limits.
I'm sure he didn't come all this way just to challenge your authority. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
We definitely agree on that.
I believe that we can restore the land, Bring back its soul and its sanity. Cut off the dream scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did. Before we can deal with the dream scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Once again, bureaucracy stands in the way of getting things done.
I'm just trying to stop Giatta from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. Really? Unexpected from an Adiran. But how could I refuse an offer like that? Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Giatta.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giatta Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Banished?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giatta is an outcast.
Governor, this is unacceptable. Your father would have kept this community together at any cost.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west, by the workshop.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
Oh, you startled me. This old woman can get lost in prayer from time to time. You must be the Adiran envoy I've been hearing about. Apologies for any hardships you may have experienced getting here. The failing crops, the strange beasts, and even the dream scourge are all the result of our neglect of the dead. I was calling on the spirits of the recently dead to follow the guidance of Bareth, god of death. I am asking the spirits to forgive us for our negligence and continue on their way without anger. The dead of Fior expect certain rituals to be carried out. I have failed to perform those rituals, and now the spirits are angry. We cannot take that chance. There are angry spirits and you know the problems we face. I believe the two are related. Our recent dead require a final meal to ease their passage from life. Without it, they can't rejoin the cycle.
You've got people waiting in line for their next meal, and you want to waste food on the dead?
I got food from the grain merchant stores. I just need someone to leave it at the graves. The dead will take it from there.
Flesh and bone, they bring the fruit to those who cannot eat. What tree calls for its branches to endure these rituals?
I had to take the food. The fate of Fjord depends on it. I know Elena would understand how important it is to pay tribute to the dead. Of course. I follow a Valian tradition that teaches that the journey back to the cycle is a long and perilous one. Bareth appears as the usher to guide souls into the next life, but those who lose their way risk the ire of the Pallid Knight. We offer food to the recently dead to still their minds and give them something to offer should the Knight demand her toll. The recently dead are nearly as alive as you or I. Many don't believe they're dead, and many rebel against Bareth's beckoning. Any peace we can offer only helps them accept their fate and move on to the next life. You must take these offerings of food and place them at 3 grave sites where the recently dead lay. The first offering goes to a cliffside grave on the southern coast. The second offering goes to a grave in the swamp, far to the west from here. The final offering should be taken to the truffle farm east of Fjord, where a family lost their lives to the encroaching wilds. I believe it will do exactly that. The spirits will find closure and rest, and the living can move on from this recent tragedy. Be careful, friends. The angry spirits lash out blindly. I cannot predict what awaits you at these graves.
Next time you want to tour graveyards, I'm staying at camp. We should help the living and let the dead rest.
I can't thank you enough for helping to ease the conscience of an old lady. Please, return when the rituals are complete.
Empty again.
Seems that way.
Vidaro says the current crop looks promising, though.
How can he know that? He's not a farmer.
Be patient. He hasn't steered us wrong before.
Genuine healing Krista. Purest all of Eora.
If only we had these.
Rejuvenate and revitalize your personal essence.
That did not go as I had planned. I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
I thought she was being polite.
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. I can think of one. He's an entitled little worm who can't stand to be proven wrong.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Missiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop. All gone.
I wish I could take credit for Giatta's stubbornness, but she learned that on her own.
Thanks, old man. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Adiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers. Likewise, they should be educational for us both. Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Wouldn't that be a coincidence? I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... No, sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just realized this is the end. I have to leave your Messiverno. Forever. As much as I would love that, we're already out of time. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the Animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. I hope so, because we're running out of options. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fjord. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial Envoy, Research Assistant. Who knew?
Careful, or we'll get thrown out of the pub.
We're all...
I had one job, but I couldn't even do that. Look out for her, Fidelio. How hard could that have been? If I could help myself, do you think I'd be in here? I don't mean that. I have a lot on my plate. I'd like to be. They're out searching. Someone had to hold down the fort. My two youngest rangers were supposed to report back from their rounds. I assumed they'd turn up. But it's been 3 days now. They're still not here. Praise Ilia. Their names are Belena and Adalaro. I doubt they'll be apart. They were good rangers once. But since they've caught each other's eye, all they do is sneak off to... I think they know each other very well.
Well, there's worse places to make the four-legged beast. I promise you that.
New recruits running off with each other? Oh man, this brings me back.
Anyway, I never thought I had any cause for concern. They always found their way back eventually, but they haven't this time. They're out there, all alone, and they could be in danger, and The last time I saw them, I sent them to patrol the northern riverbed. If you go that way, please, keep an eye out for them. I'm losing my mind in here.
Two young Nemdutin wandering out by a river. Consider them found.
Maybe we don't look too soon.
Pour you a drink, good like.
The crops ruined. All of it.
Can anything be done?
The Bly thinks I ought to give up farming, leave Emerald Stair.
And the animancers are useless. You heard them arguing
Welcome
down
back,
there.
envoy.
Mindless academics, the whole lot of them.
You ever think, what if I wasn't a ranger?
Of course. What would you do? Ah?
Get plowed. Ah? Maybe a cowherd.
Oh, I know.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment. Well, I was not expecting such an esteemed guest in my humble workshop. Are you in need of any weapons or armor? The roads haven't been safe as of late. Is that Gelarde? This is star metal. Very rare stuff. Where did you get this? Nay, don't tell me. I'd be tempted to go looking for some more, and that would certainly not end well. No. Unfortunately, I don't know how to work the metal into anything useful. Only enchant it. I did receive a shipment from Sola's Keep recently, however. A mace, crafted out of star metal, brought to me by a trader from Gallowayne's Tusks. I suggest you make your way there if you're looking for someone to work that beautiful metal into a proper weapon.
Gallowayne's Tusks? Come on, it can't be that complicated. I bet you 5 skates a Smith and Thirdborn would know what to do with this stuff. And I'll take your money eventually.
Is there anything else I can help you with, amico? Welcome to my fine establishment, amico.
Oh, it's you. Leave me alone, all right? I'm not looking for trouble. Maybe, maybe not. What's it to you? Well, don't tell anyone I'm here. That damn fool Wolf with his head full of visions. When he wanted to resort to violence, I knew I had to leave. I guess you must have seen something in him I didn't. Hope your mercy doesn't come back to bite ya. Maybe I'm brave, maybe I'm stupid. I'll find out eventually. In the meantime, I can sleep at night. Good luck out there.
Good. You finally showed up. I was worried you weren't coming. The name's Keeledge. Pleasure to meet you. Hilgard sent me to Emerald Stair to keep an eye on this place. I had orders to make contact as soon as you arrived. I won't talk long. He only wants me to let you know I'm here. If you need to get word to the ambassador, I'm your man. Depends on the day. Hilgard told me to blend in, observe, and contact you. Now, I think I'm just supposed to wait and report back in a few days. I'm worried about drawing attention from Ludwine's crew in the meantime. I think they're up to something. I suppose, but this seems worse than normal. I think the scale of their operation is dangerous. I don't think my superior will be pleased if I just run off. I might not phrase it that way, but I'll tell him you ordered me. Many thanks, Envoy.
Here we go! You're right!
Just like the good old days.
The Adra stirs, a crackle of light in a withered field. The bars stifle us. We cannot recall when last we spoke. Hollow faces in a line. What has come of this place? A hand of generosity, or a gauntlet of steel. We feel them. They bend and hone the essence of the earth. They draw from our veins like a well. What are these rituals? A new tongue, an unfamiliar name. A harvest grows, the dead rise. What do they hope to achieve? Set what has been broken, soothe the pain. They build walls in their hearts. Why do they not share what they make? Adir sleeps across the sea. They are not troubled by the loss of kith. What do you say? The bitter tincture heals. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. We have learned much. Dream of soaring wings in your repose.